Good evening, members of the audience. It's a very special day in this place. It's a time to just gather together and just be one with one another and just if you just do this thing with your ears where you open them up to another person, what you will discover just about life in general. I changed my accent halfway through this bit. What you'll discover about life in general is that it's a generally happy time if you just listen. So you better listen. Amen. Hi, Walter.
Hi, me.
Welcome to the podcast.
And welcome, everybody, to the listening show.
Welcome to the listening show you can listen to. I don't ever get to use that, so I just thought it was the time. It's episode 18. Is there anything important about that? It's my birthday number.
Oh, you scared me. I was like, what?
Today.
It's your birthday.
No,
I forgot. I thought it was next month. And
it
really is, yeah.
It is.
You said one with one another. I'm like, that sounds like the most generic church stereotype phrase ever. I love it. That's like if someone was ignorant about what Star Wars is. How does the Force work? Be one with one another? Like, it sounds like that kind of just generic, ignorant.
One with one another and another other another. I don't even know what I said. I just was like focused on the sound and everything. Yeah. And then I realized halfway there, I have to say things. And that was tough because I was like bouncing the sound and fixing this and that. I don't know. That was fun though. I figured out what I was doing wrong because it sounded so compressed before. It was like, and I just now figured out how to make it sound more natural. But there's still feedback because it's a crappy cable.
The keyboard, you mean?
Yeah, the keyboard. It also is compressed because our thing here. It's a long story. It's not important, but it compresses it and it makes it sound gross. And I think I figured out a way to make it a little more better. This is my thumb up. It's like a small thumb up. How's your week been? I haven't talked to you much this week. You've been busy with your...
I don't think we've talked at all this week. I don't think we talked since we were here last week.
Yeah.
I think my week has been very all right.
Yeah?
But exceptionally okay. Like just generic is what I mean. Not really good. I mean really fine. Just
superbly regular.
It's wonderfully mediocre.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Okay.
But you?
It's been about the same. Did some except for yesterday, but I'll tell that story when we get bored. I'll tell it right now.
I was gonna say it's gonna be like and now.
All right. So yesterday I was like, I've got this nice studio. I should go mix and work on stuff. And so last night at about, I don't know, maybe 4 p.m., I drove out here, got here at 5 or so. And I just got to work right away. And I just started mixing. And I was doing a project very specifically that I've been avoiding because it's a lot of hard work that needs to be done to it. And it was a lot of testing things out and just the grind work. Anyway, so I'm in here for roughly, I want to say 4 hours and 15 minutes, which is a long time to be just doing one project. And I made amazing progress and I felt great. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm on such a roll. I'm going to try some other things here. I got so much done. I'm going to just try some stuff. So I go and I'm messing around with it while it's playing through live. And then I'm like, I should layer this with this other thing, but I have to play them both at the same time to know if it'll work. And so I'm inputting all these different inputs in the computer. You could probably see where this is going. I get like 3 or 4 of these live things going at the same time and I'm listening. It's like, it sounds so good. All right, one more thing. And then I press the button to start it over. Crashed the computer and everything. And I was like, oh, I lost everything. And then I remembered, there's session backups. So I wait for the computer to turn back on and I go to session backups and I click on the most recent one. And it's from 2017. It didn't back it up at all. And I lost 5 hours of work.
Wow.
I was so upset. Tears welled up in my eyes. And I was like, I just sat there for a minute. I was so upset. And then I walked inside and my mom, she's like, what? And like she instantly figured out something was wrong. And I told her what happened. She goes, you were actively avoiding doing that work for years and you got it done and it's gone. And I said, it is. I had to come and just tell you that because I'm going to go home and kill myself now. And I loved you. And I you know, but this is not worth living anymore. And check it out. That's a joke. I didn't say
I
that.
know.
And I walked out to the car just completely defeated. This is probably about 10:30 at night at this point. And I sit in the car, I put my key in, and then I think to myself, I know what I did. I should go do it again. So I came back in here, and for another 4 hours, I redid all what I did. I did it worse the second time because I was hurrying through it because I just wanted to go home and sleep. By the time I left here, it was like 3 a.m. And so I'm very tired. I woke up at like 8. And I'm on like a couple hours sleep.
Have you caught back up on all your progress? No.
I was trying to do a little bit more when you were working on something in here. I said, I'm going to go mix for a little bit. And it's sad because like when you do it, you have to do some experimenting and tinkering. And I spent so much time the first time that when I lost the progress, I was just like, I know roughly what I did. I'll just do it as close as possible. And I listened to it. I'm like, it's not the same.
I definitely know what that's like. I've lost video projects and had to do them over again. And I've had either example where I do it a second time and I go, yeah, it's probably better than the first one, so it's not that bad. Another time it's been where I know the first time was better, but I haven't had that problem in years because it used to be that you'd work for hours on something, iMovie crashes, you lose everything. Now with Final Cut that I've been using for years, every action you do is saved. It just automatically saves every action. I'm like,
it's so hot.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, I take it for granted. You told that story and I was getting flashbacks, but I take that for granted, and it's like, why doesn't every program do that? I think Photoshop kind of does that too. I think it does. It has a recovery where if you launch it after a closure, it goes, here's the work you were doing, even though you didn't save it, I think. But while you're using Pro Tools...
Yep, Pro Tools is my mixing, my
and
DAW.
It doesn't just automatically save. It's just crazy to me.
It usually does. It usually has session backups, but for some reason, okay, I save my projects on an external hard drive now. Maybe that's something, I don't know, maybe Dad changed something in his, because I'm working technically on Dad's workstation, his DAW, but it's Pro Tools like mine. And he must have some setting that it doesn't do it.
I'm guessing...
I won't dwell on it anymore.
No, I don't mind.
I want to describe one more time how I felt. Bad. I felt like I was going to throw up all night. And still today, I have that feeling in my stomach. I feel like I could throw up because I feel weak in the tummy.
I think
it hurts.
It backed up to a different directory and it's in your computer. You just don't know where it is. And when you loaded your backup, you were loading the wrong backups. I think that's an old directory from like 3 or 6, however long ago was ago. I think what you did is still in the computer. I think so. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Specifically.
I searched for quite a while. Because I thought that too. I looked at my old backups and then I thought maybe it saves somewhere else. And I did a lot of searching because I know the file formatting they name backups and
yeah, I honestly wouldn't be able to help more.
Well,
than
it's
what
okay.
You could.
Again, if that's the other thing I kept thinking last night. I was glad that I forced myself back in here to do it. But the other thing I keep reminding myself today is like, if that's probably the worst thing that's happened in my life for a while. So I'm doing okay. But that really hurt.
Which reminds me. So here's my techno bitch babble. So I told you the other day, this laptop is faster than my Mac desktop, the Super Pro one I bought 5-something years ago. And I was blown away by that. And I can't remember where I got the idea, but I decided, why don't I just put the laptop in place of my desktop? Like maybe I could sell that one and run everything off the laptop. The problem I'm having is there aren't enough ports or buses to run everything because I have like 5 external hard drives and they're not really meant to do. Anyway, run 3 monitors and all that crap. It gets really close, but so it's just not, whatever. What I think it came down to is, unless I'm willing to use 2 monitors and not 3, that would make, then everything would work. Aside from that, the one option that I think might work is to buy a different external specific type of hard drive and then dump all the files from all 6 drives or 5 drives onto this 1 mega drive external drive.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly that'll work. And that drive, even though I got a good deal on it, it's 20 terabytes. You want to guess how much it costs?
Oh, geez, 20 terabytes?
Yeah.
I would guess it's over $1,000.
Nope. It depends on, I don't know a lot about drives, but again, it's between you and me just talking techno crap. Quick summary. There's HDD, SDD, and then there's PCI Express.
I'm guessing you got a solid
state. And M.2. Now, because here's the thing, and even then, there's the connection type. So even if you have an SSD, which is the best one, because I explained this to you the other day.
Yeah.
Solid state hard drive. Hard drive is physically like a disk, and solid state you could drop in. Theoretically, it's fine. Even with that, there's connections. So you have USB 2, 3, 3.1, Thunderbolt 3, which can go up to 4, whatever, different speeds. Anyway, want me to just tell you how much the hard drive costs? It's a lot,
yeah,
but it's still
500,
higher,
700,
higher. You already got 3 guesses. 900, yeah.
Okay.
But still, and I was like, $900 for a hard drive just to get my computer to work. And then I said, first world problems.
Yeah.
Like that's the definition of first world problems.
Yeah. You could think the perspective of someone who has never seen $900.
What it's
it's like, whoa, okay, that's not so bad.
So yeah, someone in my Minecraft server said I'm getting 20 FPS. I said, that's 20 more FPS than the kids in Africa are getting or something like that. It was like a joke, but they're like, but I hope that works because it's so weird to me that this laptop is faster than that super expensive desktop I got 5 years ago. I exported a video on here, because I've told this to you when we've done the show here. It's so darn quick. Blows my mind. I mean, it's optimized and crap, but it exports so quick. It's
nice.
like, why do I even have this other expensive computer? Whatever.
Yeah.
Tomorrow the hard drive will get here and we'll see if it works. Any other technological crap getting your way this week, or what else? Like, how was work this week? What did you do this week?
Work was good. I was, I worked really hard this week. I worked from home one day, and then I took a day off because I was sick. I had a migraine.
Did you go in other days? You didn't go in just work?
Oh, I went in 3 days.
Yeah.
And I had to do a lot of work this week, and I did it.
Good.
Yep. I'm in good favor with everybody there.
Good.
'Cause I'm a good guy. Should we show them our this?
Yeah, we should show them our that.
Or do you have something to say first?
No, not really. I mean, not specifically. Go ahead.
My mom, when she invited Walter and I to Christmas, she makes these, and they look so great. And she designed each of these based on a photo from, I believe, our first episode where we were on beanbags, and you can see our little profiles.
Silhouette. So I'll show mine too.
It's so
up
cool.
to the camera a little bit so you can see.
I should put mine closer.
Yeah, and then you can see my half of the table on my microphone, and a cut to Zach.
Yeah, it's like this.
Oops, sorry.
Looks so freaking good. And mine says you're not listening, and his says shut up and listen.
And so, yeah, they're like kind of good.
It's good.
Our first official decorations for the show.
It's merch. You can buy them fresh out from our lips on our website. We have a website.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We should sell these. No, I like mine too much.
We only have 2 of them.
They're handmade. So cool. She puts the epoxy and everything on it and twists it and everything. I think she hydro dipped some of them, but she didn't have to hydro dip these. But it was cool to open that up, and it's good looking. You started your screaming schedule. Ah! It's 12 o'clock. Ah! No, you started streaming recently. How's that been going for you?
Dude, you stalked a couple of my streams.
Yeah,
right?
2 or 3.
Yeah,
2 or 3
I mean, no, because you commented.
Okay. You first, I guess.
No,
all right.
I was going.
I didn't know. Okay, when we were playing Minecraft the other day, I thought that we were just goofing around.
We were.
But you were streaming too, and I was like, someone is messing with me. And I did not, I never made the association it could possibly be you. I'm so stupid. But I'd be like, I was just trying to get diamond in Minecraft, just like minding my business. And then I'd hear like, I'd be like, who's mining behind me? I'd turn around and there'd be nobody.
To watch you just turn around, their character turn around, and be
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, what in the heck? And then I'd hear, and I'd look around and be like, someone's placing box, but what is it? Anyway, and it turned out you were like streaming about like screwing with me, and I was completely oblivious the whole time, and I never figured it out.
Sometimes I stream when I play, but when I play, I'm almost always trolling because everyone they can do whatever they want, but then I have God mode basically.
Yeah.
What I was doing to you and I doing this to people is I
rewatched the stream, and that's how I figured it out. Because I like 4 or 5 days later, I got a notification. I re-downloaded Twitch because I was watching a different streamer, and I was like, I want to watch his streams live, and I forgot I was subscribed to you. And then I got a notification. Walterific is live. I was like, oh yeah, he's streaming now.
Yes.
And then I looked back a few days, and it was you playing Minecraft, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. And then I clicked on the day I played Minecraft, and I was like, he was messing with me. And I was watching it. It was fun to watch it back and be like, that's what he was doing, and that's what that sound was. Anyway.
Yeah, I would put a piece of dynamite under the TNT under the ground, and then put a plate on the ground. So if you walked over it, and it was so fun to do. Anyway,
I found one of the plates, and I was like, why is there a plate here? And I just mined it. I'm so stupid. I should have known.
Most people in my Minecraft server know that I stream, and so they watch the stream, and I can't troll them because they'll see what I'm doing. But some of them, like yourself, don't know, and so it's just, haha.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty ignorant. I'm pretty oblivious in general, but that was a pretty notable moment of oblivion. Is the state of being oblivious called oblivion?
I think it's obliviousness, but not. I think oblivion is not the same thing.
No, right, but I just realized it'd be funny if it was.
I was just being oblivion. I was living in total oblivion.
Yeah,
you know, it's not what that means.
The state of obliviousness, oblivion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's obliviousness. It'd be cool if there was a different word like oblivity or something. Like what? Oblivity.
Oblivation.
State of obliviousness. Obliviation.
Obligation. No. Obliviator.
That was a little detour, I guess, from your question. Yes, was the answer to your question. Your question was, you started streaming? Question mark? Yes.
Well, I actually said, how's that been going?
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, I first said, you've been streaming, right? How's that been going?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It has been going. I didn't yesterday because Twitch wasn't working, so it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Mm-hmm. Tonight I'll stream late.
You also started making game videos.
Yeah, barely. Dude,
Are you cheating?
Yes. The first game I started playing was SCP Containment Breach, but I got stuck because it kept glitching me out. And so like, oh, this is already stressful to play, but now I can't progress. And so that got discouraging. And then I played Getting Over It, the stressful game, or the annoying rage game, which didn't bother me. It was fine.
It doesn't bother me either. There's a mobile version. I think I told you about.
Yeah, you told me.
I got to the grill, and I keep getting up to what they call orange hell, and then I keep falling. I cannot get past orange hell. I've probably gotten there like 10 times, and every time I end up falling. I got close one time.
I can't believe you played that long.
Yeah,
like that's on your own time. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know if I'm gonna play that for video purposes. I can't imagine them playing that far in on their own time.
It takes some pretty intense patience.
Yeah, and I just don't have that. I mean, it's like for a video or posterity. Yeah, sure, I'll go through with it. It's like if you say, "Hey, Walter, I'll give you $20 to yell penis," like I'll do it. If someone's making a video of it, I'll do it.
Yeah,
like if there's a reason for it, right? Otherwise, like I don't care. I get nothing out of this.
It's certainly, it's more of like a test of my own, like, am I this patient? Am I going to keep playing this? And then I just keep doing it. Gosh, it's not because it's fun at all. It's like really not fun.
That's got to be especially unfun on a phone. You just constantly on your screen like this.
At first it was, and it actually gets easy. Like I thought, because at first it was like, my hands are getting sweaty.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And now I actually could just use my thumb. And I think actually the whole point of that game, it's like, as soon as you are technically sound enough to do it, and it's not hard, like that's why the pros are so good at it, because you just put in hours. But the only way out is through. In this case, we're like, because I've probably put in at least 4 or 5 hours at this point, and I'm actually pretty good. Like I can get up to that. Like I can get up to that point really easy. Like all that stuff at the beginning that everybody, like including myself, struggles with, like the tunnel and everything that you were having a hard time with. I was having a hard time with it. I couldn't get through it forever, and now it's like super easy.
I only played it for an hour.
Yeah.
And I obviously got better after an hour than I did after, but my palm was getting like raw from rubbing on the mouse pad.
Ooh,
so I took the mouse pad away and then on the wooden table, this isn't so bad, but I imagine swiping your finger on the screen and
You need
like
like
you said, sweating. That'd be.
You need like a lube girl to just come and like lube your palms while you're playing.
A lube girl?
Yeah, lube girl.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, why don't I?
It is now.
Why don't I have one?
I don't know. You should go get one.
That's when you go like, why don't you have one?
Why don't you have a lube girl? Everybody's got a lube girl. Lube girl. Come get this.
Just I'm pointing this to anybody. Hey, go get this.
Yeah. Do this.
Do this. Do the thing.
Especially call someone lube girl. It could be a lube boy. It doesn't really matter. The function is they lube you up. They lube your hand up when you're getting all chaffy from this. That game is extremely frustrating, and I'm sorry that you decided to play that one.
Nah, it's okay. I actually enjoyed it more than SC Penis. I think I said this when I was playing it, but I was like, what's more frustrating? Problems that are in your control or out of your control? And after a moment I went, problems that are out of your control are more frustrating. So SCP, monsters and bad things can come out of nowhere and you have no control over it.
Yeah.
Whereas getting over a game, it's as frustrating as it is within your power to be good. Like, so between the two, I'd rather have a problem like getting over it has. So I didn't hate it too much. Today I did a try not to laugh challenge. I thought for sure I wasn't I'll break. I broke. I laughed really hard at something.
You did?
Yeah, I'm glad I did. I said in the beginning, I don't think I'm gonna laugh, but I hope I do. And I did eventually. I had to watch it for a while and eventually it just built up, which was the fun part.
I'm excited to watch it because I want to laugh. I want to try not to laugh.
Oh man.
Did you do that on your gaming channel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that counts. So
kinda.
It's a game. Trying not to laugh.
It's a reaction thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Game. I guess it is a game. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do. Sorry, Markiplier does this, but I think it'd be fun to do a gaming channel where you play a lot of board games. That'd be fun. Yeah, or like games that are like that you can replay a bunch of times and it's different. Like I know some people do it, but like I don't know, role playing games or something. I've never played it, but something like Dungeons and Dragons or something. That'd be kind of cool to. I don't know, games like that where it's like new and it's this thing. Games where it's new and it's a thing is where it's at.
I don't know. It sounds rather controversial.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this one's really cold.
Well, we're doing another topic list today, so that's what's going on. Topic list.
How far did we get without having a
23 minutes.
Insistential? What do you call that? It's not existential. It's inwardly stential.
A crisis inside.
Well, we had a realization. We broke the fourth wall and realized, we don't have a topic, but we're fine. And it took us 23 minutes to get to the point where we're like, oh, yeah, we don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, if you count all the other podcasts we've had topic lists, we've had like a lot of minutes in a row before we ran out of a topic.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else eventful happen in your week?
I have to think about it.
Oh.
What I was thinking about is, well, I guess kind of, I went and had last night because you asked me if I wanted to go get a filet mignon tomorrow, and I was like, yes. I got filet mignon last night at some place I wanted to do, the 801, because I wanted it in so long. But they don't have the we sound like prissy assholes. They don't have the gorgonzola butter, which makes all the difference. So I was like, damn, it costs just as much, but it's not as good. So now I know if we go out for that, then we know where to go.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, I want to try Ruth's Chris again sometime, but I don't know when I'm ever going to find one.
We could do that tomorrow if you want to. The point is I don't want to spend too much money on food tomorrow.
I really want to go to our usual place because that never disappoints.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I had that, and then I had a Moscow Mule, and since it was happy hour, I had a second one. It was really good. And then I saw them pour the ginger beer. And I say, can you turn that can on so I can see it? And I turn on. Sure enough, it's the stuff I have.
Nice.
I was like, good, I have the right stuff because this is a really good one. So I went, hey, because I was leaving, can you pack me up some limes? Because the bartender, I didn't feel like an asshole for asking. We were already talking. He goes, sure. I asked for a couple. He gave me like 5 or 6. So not full limes, lime wedges.
Mm-hmm.
So I took those home. I already had my own vodka, which isn't the same vodka they used. Had the right ginger beer and fresh lime slices. They were just as good as the restaurants. And I was like, so the key apparently is fresh lime. Because the other 2 things I'd had before was really good. So I had like 6 Moscow Mules in total. I made 4 of my own.
Nice.
Really good. If you want to come over tonight or tomorrow sometime, if we pick up limes, we can make, well, I need more ginger beer, but they were very good.
Yeah.
So I did that last night. I thought I was going to have a hangover, but I didn't have anything this morning. So
Cool.
I know you said, I don't know if I agree. I'm starting to feel more like you were right, though. You said everybody should, at one point, what did you say, get wasted just so that they know what it's like, or more importantly, how much it takes them to get there. I mean, I get what you mean.
Those 2 things. Yeah.
Do you remember saying that?
There's a third thing too, and it's that, so it's to incentivize you not to do it anymore, because going too far one time should be good enough for you to realize, I don't like this, unless, of course, there's, addiction involved.
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to experience the unpleasantness, but I want to know how far I can go, because I might drink and say I'm drunk, and someone's like, no, you're not. Like, I guess I wouldn't know because I haven't hit 10. You know what I mean? 10 as in 10 drunk on the level of drunkenness. I'm already drunk.
Yeah. I don't think I've hit 10 on drunkenness. I think I've hit 9.5 like 1 or 2 times.
But you've passed out from drinking, right?
I have, I don't know if what you'd call passed out, like fallen asleep really hard, really quick, and then thrown up without remembering I've done. I threw up on my laptop.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Yep. That sucked.
Ironically, coincidentally, I was trying to find out because I have Apple Care for my phone. Decided to buy it because I've lost.
Just in case you throw up on it.
It fell off my last one fell off my bike and got destroyed, and I was just out of the money for it. So I better get it. So today I was thinking, so if I'm using this as my everyday everything computer, I should see if there's Apple Care for it. I couldn't find it, but then I was just thinking, it would have been really good to have Apple Care before you throw up on your computer, because you took it to the store, Apple Store, and then what did they say exactly?
I don't remember what they said.
I remember him being upset and being like,
"Oh, I know what I said. I freaking lied to him. I said my nephew threw up on this, and it's probably ruined."
Yeah,
but it was me.
And then he was like, "Was this in person or on the phone?"
It was in person.
And he was like, "No, we're not gonna mess with it."
Well, we can't. There's not. It's okay. It was like a 2011 laptop too, so it's like really old anyway, and it was just ruined. Everything was ruined about it. It was just,
that sucks.
It sucked bad. Okay, that was weird because, all right, the party's fine and I don't feel drunk. And then I'm like, I'm going to drink. I want to feel drunk tonight. So I'm going to just drink a lot. And so I drank a lot more and I still didn't really feel drunk. I just felt really tired. I was like, I guess I'll go to bed. And I went to bed and then I realized, okay, now I'm really drunk. And then I passed out.
Yeah.
I say passed out, whatever.
It's
loosely.
like Wolf of Wall Street with the lewds. It was just a delayed fuse, and then they all hit you.
Yeah, but I was already in bed then. I had already decided I'm just going to go to bed, but it hit me really bad. And then I wake up and I feel fine, right? I feel fine, which after that much should not happen. I just woke up, I was like, oh, wow, what a great night of sleep. And I just look and there's just chunks all over the floor. And I go to touch my laptop. I was so mad. And I was like, that's why I feel fine. I threw it all up just while I was asleep or something.
That's horrible.
It was so bad. That's the grossest that's ever. Yeah.
The most drunk you've been too.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was when I decided, okay, now that I'm costing myself like a lot of money.
Cost myself a laptop.
Right. That was probably 2 years ago or so. It was closer to 2 years ago than 1 for sure. But that was the last time I got that drunk.
Yeah. And I don't know how much I can drink. I'm not as tolerant ever since I started eating better and eating less. I don't have as much, I don't know.
You said you got steak yesterday? Is that part of you? Are you still doing a restricted diet?
No, man, I was doing 2 weeks like a good piggy, and then the last 2 weeks have been both, which means not good.
But better than it probably.
Better than none for sure, because I'll eat correctly for at least half the day.
That's good.
Yeah, you think that, but a 50-50 diet kind of isn't. I mean, obviously a 50-50 diet is better than zero, but in the long run, it isn't going to do me much good. But I'm not telling myself that. I'm still having my stupid ass smoothie in the morning. And
There's this.
I'm doing this gesture in place of this one because I don't have room to do it. So I'm doing this instead. Just
Punching an invisible man in front of you. There's what you just said reminds me of something Jordan Peterson says. And he said,
no.
No, he said, so maybe you want to stop playing video games for 10 hours a day, right? So you set a goal. And then you got to make it reasonable, man. I mean, say you make a goal and you say only a half an hour video games a day, and then you go over, and then you're ruined. You're ruined. I don't know how he says ruined. Ruined. Anyway, but then he goes, so maybe your useless, worthless self could possibly manage to limit yourself to only 5 hours of video games a day. Hey, man, that's all right. That's okay. I don't remember the exact way he says it, but the point is, it's like, maybe that's all you can manage, but you set the goal and you stuck to it.
The shorter version is Denzel Washington's character in Equalizer: progress, not perfection. Do something. Do it. There's different ways of saying it, but
do it.
Yeah, I'd rather do some than none. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, 2 meals doing it right. It's better than doing 1 meal right a day.
Technically. You got me on a technicality.
I watched some Jordan Peterson recently, and it's every time I do, I feel good. That's a generous way. I feel bad because I'm like
self-aware.
Right. He's calling me out.
Yeah, I don't know what the right word is, but I know exactly what you mean. It's been a long time since I've watched any, but the last time I did, and it also been a long period of time when I did, I was like,
Yeah, some of those.
It's the feeling you get when you hear truth. It's like when you come out of church and you go, I'm glad I did that. A good thing happened today, or progress happened today, or I feel better myself for having listened.
Yeah.
So truth is, it's not always pleasant. It's like exercise. You don't look forward to it, but you never regret having gone after you've gone. It's like truth. I don't know.
That's like any good choice. Like
Hopefully.
if you actually, but even if you're like in a day where you're like, I don't want to do my chores or whatever. And then you just like, I'm just going to make myself do some chores. Then after you're done, you're like, nice. Now my chores are done.
I had that very recently. I woke up and I was avoiding getting out of bed for a while. I was like, I need to make a decision. Either just don't do anything today because you're putting it up, or just come up with a plan for how you're going to be productive today. And I eventually came up with a plan and I had a very productive day. And of course, at the end of the day, I was proud of it. So when I was just trying to describe the feeling, obviously you know it, but if I was trying to think of what the word was, you said it's not good, and I agree, it's not good.
Aroused.
It's the opposite.
Sexually aroused.
It's the opposite of regret. I don't know if there's a word for that. Pride?
I was going to say pride, but it's not exactly.
Accomplishment? I don't know.
Satisfaction.
That's probably a good word.
But it's not exact. It's not settled kind of satisfied. It's
no. It's
not replenished either, but like fulfilled. Maybe fulfilled is the best way.
Well, that's not the opposite of regret, but that's not a bad word either. Whatever. We got close. I don't need to find the right word, but I think that's interesting to me to try to find the right word, but not interesting enough to go at it forever.
There's interesting. I was talking about that with my roommate the other day. The English language, there's some words that there's just not antonyms for. But and I can't remember the example we used, but that we were talking about how weird English is, and we were talking about a word, and we were talking about in Spanish how there's this word that means this, and then the opposite of that means this in Spanish, and then you say this word in English. And like we don't have a word for the opposite of this feeling. Even though there is an opposite of that feeling, we use like other words. Anyway, that was a sucky story to tell because I don't have the example. But the point is that English is weird.
It's actually, well, from my understanding, it's the only language I know. It's a dumb, arbitrary language and alphabet, from what I understand. But I wouldn't know because I haven't learned another language.
You've never studied any other languages?
Well, I studied Latin, but I don't know another language. You studied Latin too.
Yeah.
But that was it. Did you ever study another language? You did some sign language
And Spanish.
and math. I thought you were going to say.
And math. I actually almost said Mexican. No, I did Spanish too. I hadn't learned Mexican. I watched what is that movie? Fury the other day when Brad Pitt's in there, he's like, "This is American tank. We speak American in this tank. We don't. It's not. If you want to speak Mexican, you can go find yourself a Mexican tank." He goes, "But you speak German." He goes, "And what country are we in? We're in Germany. You speak German in Germany." And I love that conversation.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, but I remembered that conversation as soon as you started quoting it.
Mm-hmm. It's a great movie. It was better than I remembered it.
I remember Shia LaBeouf's acting once again was just top notch.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means. Nice.
There was this much badness in it.
It was so salty. Yeah.
I can't with this microphone in my face, but you get the idea.
It's a great movie. But yeah, I studied Spanish and I studied sign language. And I only did those. I don't remember hardly any of it. Now, if someone started speaking Spanish to me, I could pick out part of the things they say, but I can't speak it. I can't just conjure the words up in my head. Or that's the same with sign language too. If someone signed something to me, I'd probably know what they were saying. My mom taught us a lot of sign language growing up.
First question. If you could know a language, what language would you want to know? Know, right? Either it's a genie granting it. But specifically, I guess it's a genie granting. You don't have to worry about the work or how hard it is to know. There's a language you could know.
I think basically once you know any of the romantic languages like French or Spanish or something, then it's actually pretty easy to learn the other languages. So I'd probably pick Spanish or French or something. I'd probably pick something so it'd be easy to learn other ones.
I get it.
It also, sorry.
It's okay. I would do sign language because I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's unique. They're the ones you have to speak. Yeah, that's not a very interesting question.
What is it?
I was going to say, I don't know many Spanish words, but most likely if I said them, you'd know what they mean. Specifically, cállate.
I don't know that one.
Shut up.
Cállate.
Cállate. And I learned that from when I was working at Panera.
That's right.
And there's
You used to say something all the time. En fuego. En fuego.
Not me.
What did you used to say? You used to talk about something being on fire all the time.
I don't remember. Caliente bread, maybe. Because you always say hot bread.
Caliente pan. Yeah.
I
think that's what it was.
But there's I can't remember, some Daniel Craig Bond movie, and the driver is Italian, but he's talking to someone. He goes, "Cállate, cállate." I'm like, that means shut up. He's telling him to shut up. I understood that. And then also, they're at Panera. They talk to each other in Spanish. Walter, like, hey,
I'm right.
My name in Spanish is
what?
I still understand my name, and then they laugh and they keep talking, and they look at me and say Walter. I'm like, I can. Admittedly, it's pretty funny.
Did you do backyard Bible club with us?
Not many. But I had done it.
Do you remember when we used to go? We used to go to these majority Hispanic neighborhoods, and we'd do backyard Bible clubs. And I would go there and I would speak Spanish to the kids, but only like stupid words. And I would speak it really fast, like I knew Spanish really well. And then ask questions in Spanish, like, hey, what time are we doing Bible study tomorrow? And I would say, mis zapatos es muy huele and gordo. And what I just said is my shoes are stinky and fat. Yeah. And I would always answer questions like that. And the kids, they were always laughing because I'd always say, mis zapatos muy gordo y feo. Yeah. You got ugly shoes? And it was always about my shoes.
Yeah. That's all I know.
Zapatos.
The tractor is red. Brian Regan.
The tractor is red. Yeah.
I was going to say something else.
There are many books in the library.
Good to know it.
Yeah. Anyway, I love messing with those kids. And there was other things I'd say. Tu madre, all that stuff. Sign language is cool though. There's actually places locally that you can learn sign language for free because it is considered, well, I couldn't tell you why, but I believe it's because it's considered an essential language because sign language people can't speak any other languages. And so, I don't know. That's something interesting. I've considered going and taking other sign language courses specifically because it'd be cool to know what people are saying from way over there.
It's kind of interesting. There are different forms of sign language, So
There's Star Wars sign language.
Well, there's ASL, American Sign Language, which makes you think, oh, that means there's another sign language. So there's other, I guess, kind of get confusing. It's like if there are different forms of, well, I guess there are different accents of English in some vocabularies, but if you could speak English to anybody with any kind of, what's the word, derivation of English, and they understand, I could speak ye old English.
Yeah.
And most people understand what I'm saying. So I wonder if it's that way with sign language, where like that was some weird sign language, but I understood what you said because it's not American Sign Language. It's, I don't know, German Sign Language. Like, I wonder what that's like.
Do you think you'd refer to each different kind of sign language as a different dialect?
I don't know.
Because technically,
I wonder what the technical definition of dialect is. I don't know.
Maybe it's just pertaining to what comes out of your mouth. And if that's the case, is spit a dialect?
I think dialects have to do with regions, and if that's the case, how are regions defined? Like, is Brooklyn an accent, or does it have or is that a dialect, or are they one and the same? I have no idea. I'm pretty ignorant.
I don't know I don't know what does differ about accents and dialects.
I was watching The Drop or listening to The Drop in the background while I was cleaning the house today, and I started picking up a Brooklyn accent while I was cleaning the house, and I was picking it up, and they said some things that were stuck in my head. I guess that's why I thought of Brooklyn.
I would love to have a Brooklyn nickname. You know how people in Brooklyn, it's always like 2-time Tony or 3-time Rodney. I want to be like 7-time Zach.
That's a stupid name. Zach.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. They all have good.
I know what you
nicknames.
mean.
Hey, 14-time. 14.
Every nickname you come up with incrementally goes up in numerics for
603-time Matthew.
603-time Matthew. Every time, every new character. So stupid.
And they always have a pizza joint in the family.
Hey, they don't call me 1405 Tony for nothing. It just keeps going. That's so stupid. It's a new digit too every time. 2, 3, 4, number 4 digits. It's just so stupid.
They don't call me 6,493 Derek for nothing.
Times Derek.
Yeah, times Derek for nothing. 2-time Tony, a free time. Oh gosh.
Meanwhile, I just tend the bar. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's a good accent. What are your favorite accents?
I have different accents I like for different reasons. If you want to go on something, maybe then I can contribute.
I like a lot of accents too, but Scottish stands out.
Why?
Australian stands out. Mostly because all the people that talk in that accent are like badass people, and then you think of
Scottish?
those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think of Scotland, and it's like this place in the world where everyone's manly and they protect their home from invaders. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good Scottish accent, but that's what you think of. That's what you think of in Australia. Alligators and dingo babies.
That's Australia.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie.
Well, see, what's your favorite? That's hard to pick.
Bloomin' onion.
Bloomin' onion's my favorite accent.
I'm just saying Australian things.
Here's one. What do you think is the sexiest accent? So you're designing a woman into a computer because it's all objective, and you pick an accent, and like, well, I wouldn't pick an American accent because it's boring, right? I would pick a different accent. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is Irish.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, so here's let me ask the parameters. Are we attributing beautiful woman is speaking in this accent? Now, which accent would be the one you'd be like, oh, my heart? Like let's just say it's not an ugly person doing this. Like, we're attracted to this person and she has this accent. She
Right, so it's
any
a
accent
person
in
on the
world.
street that exists, and then before she opens her mouth, and this is the accent she happens to have, and this is the one that would swoon me the most. Yeah, that's more or less.
I have my answer.
Okay, what is it?
Russian.
Man, you know what? Damn.
If it's a beautiful woman with a Russian accent and she's talking, it's like, oh my gosh.
Here's my thought on that. Russian is stereotypically like kind of like German. It's stereotypically like aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It can be sexy, but it's not my first pick.
It's not. It wouldn't have been until I thought of this specific one woman who's a Russian lady, and I heard her talking. And I was like, okay,
Right.
Yep.
It can be right, but it's not what I'd pick. Inversely, French is a stereotypically most attractive, which then for me makes it disqualified.
That's what I
I'm a
did too.
hipster. Yeah, it's like I don't
yeah.
care. Irish is so interesting, and it can be. Yeah, I don't know. I just pick Irish. I know without thinking about it too hard. Russian, okay, I accept. Yeah. Okay, so this is me trying to pick a more specific question to what's your favorite accent. Let's pick a different situation. If you could speak with another accent, you had the ability to do this one perfectly, which one would you want to do? So this is one you could just whip out in conversation, or you know, you can use this accent whenever you want. You know how to do it really well.
Is it Mongolia? What's the country that has the throat singing?
I don't know.
I think it's Mongolian throat singing. I'm not positive though, but that'd be cool to be able to do.
But you can Mongolian throat sing without an accent.
You can't. It'd be an American throat singing.
Be
You just eat like a bad McDonald's and your burp counts just.
Oh, my camera's frozen. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but that would be cool. Do you have an answer?
No, but I think I can think of one. Okay, camera's working.
That's not really a good answer, but
all right. If I had an accent, maybe Australian, because I think it's really cool. Oh, my camera keeps freezing. I guess my computer can't handle it. So sorry if my camera's frozen. Zach's is fine. Mine is just awkwardly.
You can change it to the both of us camera.
I did. I might leave it on that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see if it could start working. My poor computer's been over encumbered, and there it goes. It's frozen. Okay,
I hate it when my computer's over cucumbered.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it on this camera, I guess. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, probably Australian. If not that, New Zealand, probably.
New Zealand? Nice.
I think I would just pick Australian.
Yeah.
You pick a criteria for favorite accent.
Pick a criteria for. Is this like another question I have to ask?
Yeah, because if you ask me what my favorite accent is, it's hard. So I decided.
I have a different question, but it's like kind of on the same vein. I've been considering the possibility of moving to another country at some point in my life for a decent amount of time, at least a year. And that's only just to gain perspective on the world and whatever. Because, you know, every time I gain perspective on things, I feel like I get to be a gooder guy, an even gooder guy. So I thought, what if I had just moved to a different country, experienced life in that place for as long as it takes to experience life there, whatever it is, and gain perspective. And anyway, do you have a country that if America is about to explode, Yellowstone's about to go down, you have to move to somewhere in Europe or somewhere in Asia, one of those two, the other side of the world, where would you move there?
Southeast Asia.
Like China and...
Not China.
Taiwan.
One of the smaller countries.
Korea.
Maybe.
North Korea. James Franco had a good time. Seth Rogen.
Probably something like that. And then if not, generic Mexico.
Because do you fantasize about yourself being Bruce Banner in the original Edward Norton Hulk movie?
No, that one you're in Canada and British Columbia.
Isn't that Brazil? Isn't he in Brazil in that one?
Yeah, he is. But by the end of the movie, he gets to British Columbia, Canada, the mountains. I would like to go there too, but that's not really.
Yeah.
Your question was if you had to move out of America, which leaves the rest of the world. But I, for some reason, was taking it to mean
North America,
not North America.
Right. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Or not a completely developed. Well,
I actually was thinking like specifically not America, including South America, but I realized that that's the other side of the world, diameter wise. It's on the other. It's on the other equator. So,
Do you have an answer?
I don't know. It would be like Italy is always fascinated me because it's so beautiful and old and all that stuff.
Oh shoot! Which reminds me, the Netherlands. That's probably where I'd want to go.
I thought about Sweden too because everybody there's beautiful and big, and I thought maybe I could absorb like being beautiful from those people. They're also like they're all like 6'5" and blonde and perfect, and I thought, yep, it'd be cool to have a bunch of beautiful friends, and they spoke in the language of the Swedes.
Sorry, I can't help. Yeah, I forgot about the Netherlands. I think that's where I'd go.
Yeah. But I don't really want to be cold either.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, that's a good point. Like, if you can move anywhere, imagine moving somewhere where the weather is amazing.
Yeah. Japan, that'd be fun. I imagine Japan would be
cool.
Good. That would be cool to live in Japan. Because that culture, to me, seems like the most different from like where we are now. Like as far as their standards and like their core beliefs.
I wonder, but I'm pretty sure the Middle East has very different culture.
You're right, obviously. But like the most...
But it's really different, so...
The most different that still, like, you would survive in.
The most different that you would survive in. What a great... No, I'm not kidding. That's a great criteria. Probably funnily phrased, but... Yeah, probably Japan. That's probably where it's the most different, but if I could just get the language maybe and currency, I could probably make it, you know?
Yeah. My ex told me she used to go to Japan, like when we were dating, and she would like bring back all these things and everything there is small. Everything there is small. And so she got me a shirt. She said, I got you the biggest size they had, and this shirt did not fit me.
Because they don't have a lot of obesity there, I don't think.
They don't have a lot of that, and they don't have a lot of big people. Like they've got a few, but like you'd have to go to a big and tall store to get my size of person. And then they have like all their street signs are cute, like adorable. They use like really cartoony looking, like their stop signs are like cartoons.
Yeah.
And like all their street signs are cartoons. Like you look at it and it's like, I feel like I'm in a manga, like just living in a manga is what it looks like. And everything is like cool and interesting. And it's all everybody's kind from what she is telling me, at least this place that she was at, and everything she said about it made me want to go there. As well as everybody I've heard from that's been there. They all are like, Japan is like awesome. I don't know. That's climbed closer to the top of my list at this point.
I'm thinking of random shit. If you were given a private jet, which is beside the point for the question, it's really just a free flight anywhere. Where would you go?
One flight or free flights?
It's round trip. Like I'm trying to think. Like you got a private jet, you can just travel somewhere now. Cost be damned, right? Like where do you want to go travel to? Just for whatever reason. Like you want to stay there? You want to just visit for a day, for a week? Where would you go? Like, well, shoot, I want to go out of the country if I have a jet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't pick Colorado, for example.
Right. That's
definitely in Europe. Probably Scotland. Probably Scotland. Somewhere where I could, where it's different enough to where I can appreciate it, but not so different that I would be intimidated or would need to take a lot of extra precautions or do a lot of extra work to visit there. Assuming they could speak English there and I have some money, then I will just go there probably.
Do you know
you go anywhere in the world? You go to Egypt. Like,
yeah.
Is there some place you would want to go?
You know, I own land in Scotland.
Yes.
You're
a laird.
I am.
Okay. Anyway,
maybe you could stay on my property when you're there. I'd let you. Rent, we'll figure it out. Yeah, Scotland's a good answer. My parents went to Scotland, and then they talked about all the trains and the locks that they went and visited. I was like, it'd be cool to go to a lock. I specifically make the joke when I tell people about my lordship there that I bought this like square foot of land that I'm going to dig a hole and then make a puddle, and I'm going to call it lock something. I haven't figured it. I gave it a name. It was like Loch Jennifer or something like that, and I gave it some American name, but it's a loch because it's a little lake on a property.
How's loch spelled?
Loche, I believe.
Yeah, I would spell it loch, or I would call it Ness.
There's already Loch Ness.
Damn.
That's where the Loch Ness monster came from. Like they didn't name it Loch Ness because the thing's name was Ness. It was from the lake. Loch Ness.
I didn't know that. I didn't know where the name Loch Ness came from.
I was like, are you joking?
Are you joking?
Yeah, they said it's really pretty. I guess there's not usually a ton of sun there, though, and that would be a bummer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rain. It's like the Seattle of Europe. I haven't been to Seattle. I haven't been past Colorado. No, I've been to New Mexico, but I've never been further east than basically the Rockies, I don't think.
I have not been to New Mexico. What place or state in America do you want to go to the most that you have not been to before yet? My answer is Utah.
Oregon.
What's in Oregon?
Beautiful forests.
Besides crime and rain and...
Oh, I'm not talking like the cities in Oregon. I want to go drive through like the
opposite of the cities in Oregon.
Like I want to go through the wilderness and meet all the psychopath chainsaw massacre killers. No, that's not. That's a bad stereotype.
Is it really the forests that you want to see?
My dad said it's the prettiest state he's ever been to.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm sold.
I went to Washington in Seattle, in or around Seattle, really for a little bit. And the trees fascinated me. I wonder if they're anything like Oregon. I would imagine they are.
The redwoods?
I think so.
The ones that are like 300 feet tall?
No, they weren't like stupid ass huge. They were very tall and skinny. They're different, like unlike anything out here I've ever seen. But I can't remember what they were like, but they fascinated me, and I'd like to see more of that. If
they're the tallest trees in the world, the redwoods are.
Well, I know what you're talking about, but that's not what I saw.
Maybe you saw a small version of redwoods.
I don't know, but anyway, the reason I want to go to Utah is because, the salt flats and the sand dunes, the big automotive playgrounds. That's why.
That's a good answer for you. I get it.
If I remember right, it is on the other side of Colorado.
You'd have to get so much gas, man. You'd have to pack up a lot of extra gas.
I don't care. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. I'm going to go off a bit of a tangent. I'll keep it super short. I would like to have a toy hauler travel trailer, which is just a trailer that you can live in and you can put motorcycles or UTV inside of. It's very cool. But if you took that out to some place like that, you set up your mobile home RV, basically. Just live there in the sand dunes for a little while. You have everything you need to live in there for a few days, and that'd be really awesome. And then go just drive around the sand or salt. It'd be really fun.
That's an extremely sexy idea.
If I remember right, and I get the states mixed up, Utah is on the left side of Colorado. And you know how it takes 8 hours to get to Colorado? I'm pretty sure it's double the time/distance to get to Utah. You have to go through the mountains of Colorado, and then you get into Utah. And Utah, if I remember, not just the salt flats and sand dunes, it's very beautiful with mountains, much like Colorado is. And there are areas where there are these, Colorado Springs is kind of like a bowl. I think there are areas like that in Utah too. So it's very similar. And Utah, I think a fact about Utah is they have the best snow in the country. Best snow because of what is it? The best snow for sledding/skiing in the Olympics. They do it there because they have the best snow. Whatever the criteria is for best snow, they have the best snow.
It's super
interesting.
soft.
It must be just super soft or something, like the snow you dream about as a kid. I don't know. Whatever they qualifies as the best snow, but that's an interesting fun fact to have about your state, isn't it? We have the best snow.
They should make that their mantra. Utah, we have the best snow.
We'll snow you.
Yeah. You snow. We got this. I don't have.
It's
no,
okay.
That's bad.
Kansas is, what is it? Look, more corn. What is it?
It's no place for people who don't like snow. I'm still working on
because we have the best of that.
Because we have the best of it. Kansas, corn, and some other stuff.
Corn and no.
That's like Iowa.
Right.
Yeah, Iowa. Corn.
Imagine the road sign you see when you pass into the state. The big letters and and then below it is like a small acrylic cursive
It's
just corn with an exclamation point. Corn.
Yeah. Iowa. Corn. Idaho. Potato.
Shoot, I'm excited. I think I messaged. I haven't got a response back, but supposedly the Florida motovlogger meetup is going to be in March.
Nice.
I haven't gone there since it will have been by March. It will have been 18 months, a year and a half. But last time I went there, I drove from Maryland to Florida. If I remember right, it happens that the trip from Kansas to Florida is the same distance. I think. I'm not looking forward to the gas money it's going to take to drive my Jeep and bikes back and forth.
Oh, gross.
It takes 2 days to get there. It's like 16 or 18 hours or something.
Oh, man.
But it's so fun being in a house with other motorcycle people. It makes me want to host a motovlogger meetup here.
Yeah.
I just worry about the responsibility and legal stuff. One of the big steps. I'm going off on a tangent. Tell me if this is boring and stupid, and I'll tell you to shut up, and I'll keep going. One of the biggest things about a motovlogger meetup is if they usually, not always, I don't have to do this. They usually expect you to organize a ride so people can join into this huge. Well, if I did that, I would want the police involved for legal reasons and safety reasons. I don't know how that'd work. I'd just walk into a police station and go, hey. Now, fortunately, I'm in a better position than most. Apparently, the police know who I am, at least one of the stations or one of the cities. It's a funny small world, but my next door neighbor happens to own a dealership, and he happens to be friends with a police chief or something, and I came up or something. They're like, oh, yeah, we know who he is or something like that. He told me about, like, that's weird. But anyway, that's a lot of responsibility. Cut all the boring crap. It'd be so fun to have people come over for like 2 or 3 days, and you have a bunch of people living in your house, and your garage is just full of motorcycles. And you have a house party one night. And then
That sounds fun.
And then the next day you all just go for a ride together. And then the next day you meet up with like hundreds of fans. And
Bring your bike, bring your sleeping bag. We're partying at Walter's house.
yeah,
Bring your BYOB. Bring your own booze.
Bike.
Booze, baby.
I've done that at other states and other motovlogger meetups, but I've never hosted one. And
Just to answer your question about the police station, I'm pretty sure you just go to them and then you just basically tell them what's going on. They give you an application that you fill out, and they basically approve it or don't approve it. And if they don't approve it, then you don't have their backing. And if they do, then you do have their backing.
by backing, do you mean what I'm hoping for, which is
People will
road
be around.
closures and an escort and stuff like that?
They might do that if you applied for that too.
Well, that's what I would want if I had a ride,
That'd be pretty fun.
because I want the police to know that I have no ill will by bringing in all these motorcycles on the road. Like, hey, just so you know, we're doing this, so they don't think one day, where are all these motorcycles coming from? And so that's a good term. So then also that way, hopefully people behave and are safe during a ride, not doing stupid crap and then dying.
Yeah,
getting maimed for life, and then I feel responsible because that's happened to other people.
I know.
That's
I know
why
the story.
that's why I'm turned away from it. If someone decides to act stupid, I'll feel responsible for it, or I could be seen as responsible in the eyes of other people.
There's definitely no detriment to trying to get the police involved.
I'm not worried about that. It's
you know what I mean. Like, just because having them there just disincentivizes people to misbehave or be stupid.
I know. It's not an issue of if I would have the police. It's an issue of if I would have a meetup at all where anybody could get hurt in any way.
Oh, well,
where I could be held responsible for it regardless.
No, you can't.
I mean legally necessarily. I mean like
just morally responsible.
Yeah, like someone crashes. Like, hey, why did you
make me come to your thing? Well, the fact is you didn't make anybody do anything.
I know.
I get what you're saying though.
But more than that, I don't want anybody to get hurt.
It's the same reason that I'm not dating a girl right now, and it's because I could accidentally kill her in a car wreck.
Oh.
No, it's like that logic doesn't make sense. It's like their own volition if they want to join. You know? If they don't want to crash, then they can stay home. We're here to crash. You can join us if you want. Or you can go home.
Just go home like that.
I don't want to hear your bitching. It's like,
I told you already.
We're crashing today. That does sound fun.
Crashing?
No.
No,
The
staying at
big
someone's
ride.
house. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm looking forward to the motovlogger thing in Florida, because then I could just get out for a couple days.
Yeah. I wonder what COVID stuff is going to, I wonder how that's going to affect it.
I was going to say, should we make predictions? Because I'm guessing this crap's going to go on for a lot longer. I mean, it already has gone on a lot longer and a lot longer and a lot longer based on predictions. I'm guessing it's going to be more of that, like another year, 2 years.
Yeah, are we jumping topics, or are we talking specifically
Kinda, yeah.
in relation to your bike thing?
Topics. You brought up COVID, so I was
Let's talk
jumping-
COVID.
I was jumping to that topic.
But we don't want to demonetize our video, but like it's getting monetized right now.
It's a joke because it's not monetized.
Right. No, I don't know. It feels like at some point it's going to get to the point where there will be some herd immunity involved, because a lot of people will be vaccinated, and then a lot of people will still remain like doing what they're doing and being more safe and stuff.
Did they officially release a vaccine?
People are getting it. I don't know
If it works.
Yeah, people are. Well, I think it does work. They wouldn't release it if it does. But the problem is that, vaccines do this weird thing where there's like half-life stuff, and 50 years down the road, maybe you'll grow an extra penis. You don't. Who knows?
Right. We don't know we don't know how well this vaccine does or doesn't work. Right.
Right.
That's what I meant by, is it a real cure vaccine?
Yeah. No. I mean, it creates the antibodies for this virus, and like in the stage that it's in, maybe the virus will evolve a lot more and you'll need a different one, but then they'll just adapt the strain. I don't know. I'm not a virus expert, but I know that people are taking the whatever injection stuff now.
It's been almost a year. We're getting close.
Yeah. I miss going out. I miss not,
It's funny because my life hasn't changed at all. The only thing it affected was my move back to Kansas. That was really stressful, and getting a house. That was difficult because of that. But otherwise, I had this thought last week. I was going to the grocery store wearing a mask on, and everybody had a mask on. And I was thinking for just a split moment. I was like, I can barely remember what it was like seeing people with masks on in public for the first time, and how weird it was. Now it's super normal. We got used to it really quick, but I remember when it was super weird. Like, why are we all wearing masks?
Mm-hmm. Now you feel weird with that one. I do, at least.
No, I don't, but
I feel naked with that one now. If you walk into a place and you forget it, then it's like, oh man, everyone's looking at me. I don't know.
I haven't had that, but I happen to like hiding my face, so that works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an interesting thing to think about. I work at a bank, and so I've got my hood on because it's cold outside, and I've got my mask on, and I'm zipped up and everything. And I'm walking in this bank right past the clerk at the front desk, and she's smiling and waving. And I thought to myself, if I did this exactly 1 year ago, she'd be freaked out. Like, this guy's going to come around the bank.
It's really funny. There have been memes about that.
Uh-huh.
Shows like a robber and a banker and a mask and the hood, and they switch place the mask and the hood and the banker, and this person doesn't have a mask and they're trying to rob the bank because they don't want to wear a mask, and so whatever. It's reversed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty fortunate. I've not gotten sick with it at all yet, but
yeah, I don't think I have either. But I mean, I guess it's possible that you or I could have had it and had no effects. What's the word for that?
Not symptomatic.
Asymptomatic.
Yeah, but technically, I don't know if I've told you this. I'm sure I probably did, but late January, early February, I became tremendously sick, and I was coughing like crazy. And technically, it's possible that I was one of the first, but I don't know I don't know. I ordered this package from China, and I opened it up and all this stuff. That's true. I really did.
What's funny is that a lot of our packages are from China, so
yeah. Well, like mine came directly from. Anyway, I kept the box because it's like, maybe I got it from here, but I got these pants from China, and then they shipped it to me, and then I got really, really sick, and I didn't make any association, and then like 15 days later, I was sick for probably a month.
That happened to a lot of people. They realized, that sickness I had might have been.
I don't know if it was.
I haven't been sick in over a year, if I remember right.
Yeah,
I've been healthy.
That's nice.
Like a cow with udders, with exceptionally
taut udders.
Nice. No, not taut.
Swingy.
They're just
Let your udders hang
Fat.
low.
Udders.
Plump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juicy. Anyway, so there's a small chance that I did have it, and I'm, and that sucked. It was the worst cough I've ever had. I felt so sick for a long time. But then I got better. I don't know. Maybe that was it. But if it wasn't it, then I am pretty dang nervous to what would happen to me if I did, because I do have asthma and all that stuff. And so I get the fear that people have about it. I guess I don't know. To me, it's worth, I don't know. I don't know. It's all weird. You have to act a certain way with people and say a certain thing about it. And if you pretend like it's not a big deal, then you're a bad person.
It's been out for almost a year. It's strange that I haven't gotten it as far as I know, and you haven't gotten it as far as you know. At least it feels that way until I consider that I live more independently than a lot of people. I don't know about most people. So in that way, it's not so weird, but yet it's like there's so many instances to get it, and it's been out for so long. It's crazy that I haven't gotten it yet.
Mm-hmm. We're lucky that we live in Kansas, as an example, because there's nobody here. But I mean, the people that are here are getting it too. So,
yeah.
I
think borders are still closed. Not all of them, but some borders, like you can't travel.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I know they aren't, because I was supposed to go to Europe last year for work, and I couldn't go, so because they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks.
Are you gonna go this year?
I don't know. They're still closed.
We're closed.
Yeah.
That'd be cool though. I want to go to Europe. I actually kind of want to live in Europe, but we talked about that already. Just for a little bit. I would actually.
Europe's a big place. I meant UK is what I meant. Supposed to go to the UK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope that. Well, I don't know if this is surely not a true statement, but somebody I heard was saying that they think the damage of the disease itself is more cultural and psychological than literal. And I wondered, because that's a iffy statement, because people have actually died from the sickness technically, but the damage it's done to people in other ways, like the way people behave around each other now. And
yeah, this is an oversimplification, but there's a meme. It's Jim Halpert from The Office pointing at a board meme, like a graph.
Yep.
It's like points in the second one, like smiling about it. So the first one is a small bar and a big bar. The small bar is COVID cases, and then the big bar is fear of COVID, and the next one is inverse. Like COVID cases are way up, and then fear of COVID's like super tiny. Like, we're good now.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I remember all the panic and everything.
Yeah.
Still don't understand why everybody was buying toilet paper. I think we're caught up on that stuff now, so that's pretty cool.
On the TP?
Yeah, and soap. I don't know.
I haven't wiped my ass in a long time, but maybe you are. Maybe you're fine with TP. That's a joke. I have TP.
I bought a 12-pack, and that'll last me for like 2 years. So that was before that ever happened, so I didn't have that problem. But soap? What?
I save my dumps for work, so I don't use much either. That's
I'm
true.
sure you're not the only one.
Yeah, no, I just am like, I like the work toilets. Mine's fine at home, but I don't want it to stink there. I want it to stink at work.
I haven't had to buy soap in a while, but when I did, it was really hard. I had to buy an overpriced little thing of soap online because that's all there was. Like, well, I need soap.
You should take some from my mom. She makes soap.
But now it's been a long time. I bet there's soap at stores now. I don't know.
There is, but that's not good for you. My mom's is good for you.
Okay.
She's got a lot of customers now because they said that it's helping them.
Helping them to soap. I mean, cope.
Yep, to soap with COVID-19.
Soapid. That's stupid. Soapid. Why did you say Soapid-19?
That was a joke about cope with COVID, but soap with COVID.
Whatever.
Yep, I ruined it.
Way. No,
You're
it's
right.
dumb either way.
You're right. I ruined it. I should end it all now. I was going to this morning because of my project. I should just do the darn thing.
Yeah, you're not losing
I shouldn't
streak.
joke about it. I shouldn't joke about it. It's funny to me.
Then you should joke about it.
Okay, I have a topic. If you want a topic, This is something that I've been wondering about, and morally, is it okay to joke about bad things, like bad things?
Well, there's a bigger problem. What do you mean by bad things?
Yeah, I know.
I kind of
I
jokingly
can
am
give you
going there.
examples, but like,
If you said, is it okay to joke about cancer? Like pick a specific topic, then it's an actual conversation.
okay, so there's obviously levels, and a lot of people have different levels. Like some people, for example, can joke about cancer, and it's totally fine for them, and it doesn't offend anybody there around or whatever. But obviously, for some other people, if you joked about cancer, it would be not fine.
Mm-hmm.
But why? It's married to some other things. Would it be wrong to joke about cancer around certain people, or is it your own moral responsibility to grow up tough enough to withstand jokes, even that might I don't know, that might hurt your feelings or something, or like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a really bad thing to joke, like rape. Like, is it okay to joke about rape? I don't know.
It's interesting how it works.
I'm not going to pretend like I know the right answer because I don't. I know, for example, I have joked about those things before, but it's in a really specific context. What I don't know is if that's only bad, or if there's something to be said for divorce yourself from the seriousness of this so you can have like happiness for a minute, even if it's brief.
It's weird because like I can pick something from either side of the fence. So most people would agree, for example, that if you had cancer, you got your cancer card, you're okay to joke about cancer.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you do the same thing with rape, for example, like
Yeah.
let's say I've been raped. I therefore, by that logic, have the excuse or the card to make rape jokes. Theoretically, that's how our rules work. But at the same time, you mentioned something. There could be somebody who has been raped and they still find rape jokes funny from other people. And then, of course, the people that don't surprise.
yeah.
Right, you have either side of the fence. So then it's like, well, who are you responsible for?
Yeah.
And I think the answer is nobody. You're not responsible for how other people feel. Most people, I think, feel that way. Not that that matters. I think you feel that way. But I understand your dilemma. Well, then what morally really
Okay,
are
so
you responsible for?
So for each example we give of can you joke about this, there are 4 people in this scenario. Like rape, for example. There is
Have for and against, have not for and against.
Correct. That's it. That's it simply. So you'd have to, if you go by the logic you're going by, there's obviously some of these 4 or none of these 4 people can make jokes about said topic, rape, for example. If you have been raped and you think it's funny, then everybody's okay with it, right? If you have and you don't think it's funny, it's very much not okay. By
Which
this
is
logic.
Contradictory, yeah, but
Right.
whatever, go ahead.
With this logic. And then, you haven't been, you think it's funny, that's bad for sure. Like that's what people would think. Or haven't been and you do think or you don't think is funny, that's acceptable too, because in this, I don't know. So what I guess I'm thinking, and this is why I lean in general, is that if you start getting into the minutia of which of these 4 people are allowed to think this is funny, and then everybody has different 4 in this scenario, then maybe it'd be better not to have any standards at all. And just to say across the board, hey, you're allowed to make jokes about it, but socially we don't have to. We can basically say, hey, I didn't like that. But I'm not going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah, that's
maybe you can socially guide someone away from jokes that are like hurtful to people.
no, man. I think that's pretty well on. I mean, in that example, this person, he's been told by society, whoever these people judging are, you can make these jokes. You are allowed to, even though you are have not or whatever. You're allowed to. Then they make the joke, and then no one thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, then he may not be incentivized to make the joke anymore.
Which is good.
Which is fine. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, how we live in is, I think, someone could be a have-not and make a joke for, and a lot of people would laugh. By that standard, the metric you put forward, that means it's okay to make the joke. I'm not sure it's the right metric, but I think the result is correct.
Yeah. But here's the other thing that's interesting about it and contradicts the way I think about it is that if everybody can recognize those things that we did when I said have and not okay with it, bad. If we all recognize that, then maybe there is something to be said for it. There are some jokes you just can't make. But I don't know. You have to then think about the intent of the joke. Is the intent of the joke to hurt somebody? That matters. Because I think everybody would agree that's not acceptable.
That's malicious. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, if the intent of the joke is for everybody to laugh, everybody was okay with that. Now, if the intent of the joke is for this group of people to laugh, but these people will get upset, maybe that's bad. Maybe it's fine.
That's when you're getting into the issue of hate speech.
Right.
Who defines hate? That's a serious problem.
It is.
No, you can have a joke that is within your heart, truly well-intentioned, meant to be funny to all people. One person, just one out of millions, as an example, can say, I don't believe that you were being innocent. I think you were specifically trying to hurt me. And then it's a he said, and then we just have to hope that we don't give the authority to the one person out of the million who decided that it was malicious. But that's the extreme case, and that's kind of where we are.
I think, well, yeah, but we know that that's like crossing a line. Like, we know that. Obviously, some people are ignorant and they don't know that. But it crosses a line when one person gets all the authority for arbitrary rules that they get to determine what my intent was when they couldn't have possibly known my intent. You can try to derive it, but, you know, everybody who with a brain can acknowledge intent is not something that you can quite, I don't know, pull out of it. Now again, on on the argument against that statement is both of us. I think most people recognize when someone's intentionally trying to hurt someone, but we don't have proof.
Yeah, and I think at that point it just goes to majority. If, for example, someone made a joke that was meant to hurt, and the majority of the listeners go, "That was malicious." Well, then they're not going to laugh. The majority doesn't laugh. The joke fails. The comedy fails. He moves on to other material. Theoretically, it's literally capitalism of speech.
Yeah, and it should be allowed to do its thing, or should it be moderated?
Well, I think we need to get more specific about it. I was having this thought earlier. It's an incomplete thought because I can't remember it, but it has to do with what you said, which is essentially, I may not like a joke for whatever reason, personally, whether it's justified or not. Regardless, I believe in his right to make a joke. It's a joke.
I'm with you.
I don't have to like it. Unfortunately, everybody is that way. But I think most,
I don't know.
There are fewer people that way today than there were 20 years ago.
We're both on the same page there.
Yeah,
we don't have to.
We're just trying to put our thoughts into words.
I have an example. And I won't throw anybody. This isn't to throw anybody under the bus. This is just an example of something that happened this week, and it was an interesting conversation, but it made me start thinking along these lines. So stuff happened at the Capitol this week. People were upset. You probably know about this, right?
No, I don't, but I don't care to know.
Okay. I'm going to tell you just because you have to know for context of the story.
Okay.
Group of overzealous people charged down the White House, and the Senate hearing. They were right-winger extremist. The hearing to determine if the next president will be Joe Biden. They were authenticating the votes and everything, and they determined it was. There's a group of people that support Trump that.
Okay, I thought he already won the election. I don't know anything.
Yeah, yes, he did. Anyway, the point is that
this hearing was to declare that Biden's going to be the next president.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a bunch. You can tell that nonsense is going to occur because people did a selfish, stupid thing. You know, these people invaded public property. They were vandalizing. Some people died. They broke in. Basically, it's the first time it's been an assault on the Capitol from these extremists. And you know, of course, we don't have to get into the details of it. Obviously, the leftists are in uproar. This happened and they're so evil, and you know, it's wrong. Okay, we're not going to get into the politics part because neither of us care about it. So I sent you a meme about it, and it's a meme where there's people in the Capitol building and they're looting and rioting, and then in the background there's Nicolas Cage stealing the Declaration of Independence, and it's hilarious to me because it's implied that he set this whole thing up so he could get away with the Declaration. And it's so funny to me, independent of your feelings about it. To me, it was like, Oh my gosh. It's making light of this serious thing that happened. Well, I sent it to a group of people I was talking to. And one of the people private messaged me and basically said, don't include me in this because it's not funny. That person didn't say it that way. They said it in a very nice way. But I just remember thinking, that person was sort of upset with my behavior about that circumstance anyway, because I was sort of nonchalant. Like, yeah, people do stupid things. And it really bothered this person that these people were selfishly invading the Capitol and doing these terrible things. And that person made it obvious to me that it bothered them that I couldn't, she wasn't stopping me from making that joke, but she made it clear to me that she didn't want to be involved in it. And so we had this conversation where I basically was like, I'm not going to tell this person how to think about it, but I wonder if that person isn't robbing themselves of some joy to be able to pull themselves out of the seriousness of it and just enjoy a really, really good timing humor joke about it, even though it was serious and bad things happened. Is it wrong to do that? And we had this conversation and she told me some things that she was thinking about it. And we left basically disagreeing, but understanding each other. And
I think you'd agree. I have a thought on that.
Okay.
Basically, I would hope that she wishes that she could make light of it. The wall.
I'm not criticizing her at all, by the way. I think
I'm using this as
equally
like, as an
valid.
example.
Okay.
I'm trying to put myself. I'm using her just so we don't get names confused or whatever. But I would hope if I was in her position, I could go, shoot, maybe just start it. Maybe let me make a new situation. I'm somebody who understands humor, jokes, and it's important to be able to make light of things. I can imagine a possibility where there's something that happens to me personally where it affects me so much that despite my philosophy on humor, this one thing, make an example. Yeah, I personally can't get over it. Like it won't make me laugh. It just hurts me to this joke. In that situation, you're okay to be hurt. You're wrong, I think, to then go, you are not allowed to make that joke. You're okay to say, to speak your mind, like, hey, that joke isn't funny to me. That's fine if it's not funny to you, but you have no authority. They have no authority. You know, that's like a mutual, like, okay, man.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times people try to tell others what to think or what not to think. And that's,
it didn't cross the line with me because she asked it kindly, but she did ask me to not include her when I do that. And I don't know if this isn't criticizing doing that. Like, I think some people experience, I guess, trauma. Maybe it might be a good way to say it, but things that have hurt them in the past, maybe the trigger things. I don't like using those words because I think that they're a little too powerful for what people experience right now. Because trauma is something special. I don't know, but there's something about somebody. And this, again, not to criticize her. I actually agree with her, and I agreed to be more sensitive around her, and happily. But something about someone asking me, you have to be more careful with me than everybody else you are. When I'm pretty careful, I didn't do that to hurt anybody. It kind of hurt my feelings when she was like, look, I know you were trying to make my day good, but you ruined it for me, is what I read into that. So it was like, I felt defensive all of a sudden. And I don't think she was wrong to do that, but I think that would break my standards. I don't know that I'd go out of my way to say, you have to watch yourself around me.
Yeah. It's a fine line. I like I said, you're okay to say, I personally don't think that's funny. That's about as far as you're allowed to go, I think, in that on that side. As soon as you step over and go, you do this, you do not do that, that's not okay. Because you can't, I don't know what she did in her case. I'm just saying what I think about.
She was so kind and so generous and graceful with me. I just don't, I think philosophically we disagree about how to handle humor and some other things, you know, but again, it's hard to disprove that she's wrong. I just don't know that And this, I figured you'd say that too. And I don't want this to become an echo chamber because there's a chance she would listen to this podcast and she'd hear it and we'd feel like we were attacking her for this. And that's not what this is at all. It's
I won't
really
be an
just
asshole, but I'm not, and it doesn't matter what she feels.
yeah. Well, it does to me, because of who she is to me. And actually, I'm starting to believe that feelings, as finicky and unreliable and not, I don't know, as bad as they matter, just not as much as some other things. Some other things matter more, but they do matter.
You can care about people and their feelings. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if the question is, what responsibility do you have? Technically none. But that doesn't mean can't. That doesn't mean you can't.
How much am I willing to adopt, though, is the question. That's the proper question to ask in this scenario.
Adopt responsibility?
Yeah, how much of responsibility for someone else's feelings am I allowed to adopt? In my own mind? And in my case, it's as much as I can handle, or as much as I love them, I should adopt that much responsibility for their feelings and how I act around them.
Sure.
So in her case, because I love this person, it's necessary in my mind to say loving them well would mean I am more careful with their feelings. And that's okay. I'm willing to adjust my standards for what kind of jokes I say.
And I think that's noble and fine, as long as ideally I would hope both of you can agree you're not responsible for each other's feelings. Maybe you disagree on that. I think at the base level.
Yeah. I don't know what she believes about that. I'm just
describing what I think. I'm not telling you what to do.
I don't know. I don't want to guess either, but my guess would be she believes that people are responsible for people's feelings. Again, maybe she'll correct me on that later if she listens. And I hope I hope that she tells her story. Okay. Let's talk about a fictional person in this case. Maybe this isn't her, but I would say people with that kind of mindset sometimes believe that your feelings are your responsibility, which I think we both don't think that it is, because you have control. Your feelings are tough because you don't really have control of them. They just kind of happen, and then you're in the feeling. You can control your actions despite your feelings, and that's good. But even you're not really in control of your feelings. I don't know. I don't believe that other people are morally responsible for your feelings. I think that it's your job to make yourself tough, and I don't know though. What are your thoughts?
I was just trying to think of another example. So give me just a moment to make an example where this would be, or I could make this really good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this one, but I have to go with it because that's all I'm coming up with. Let's say there's 3 people in this example. 2 people are exchanging a joke, and the joke is something banal or just super. The material is so juvenile that it couldn't be, to the majority, wouldn't even care about. These 2 people are joking about Patrick Starfish, something whatever they're joking about. Patrick Starfish. They're having a laugh. This third person comes in, hears the joke and goes, I was terrified of Patrick Starfish as a kid. That is not, you can't even talk about him in front of me. You and me would go, ha, probably maybe. Most people would go, ha, what a silly thing to be offended about and make demands over. Now, if we can agree on a principle that those 3 people are not responsible for each other's feelings. If one person's hurt, it's not my fault that they're hurt. The difference comes when it becomes malicious, and I'm gonna say this joke to your face because I know it will hurt you. That's different.
Yeah, Patrick Star.
That's different than when we're having a dialogue.
Yeah,
and they're in the audience and they're there and that's different, right? Mm-hmm. I just want to agree on the point that 2 people are talking, third person hears a joke, and then they are offended. It's not malicious. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that sucks to be them. It's not malicious. It's okay. Right.
Yeah.
Now let's change the context. In the audience, the millions of people who are watching, these 3 people, they go, "Well, sucks to be that one guy who happens to be scared of Patrick Starfish, but these two guys aren't doing anything wrong." Now let's turn all the way to the other side, and these two guys are making 9/11 jokes about the planes crashing in the building, and this one person, of course, comes up and goes, "My dad was on that plane," and that's not funny. Now, probably us two, in conjunction with the people watching, this person may be the only person in the world who's scared of Patrick Starfish, but there are millions of people who are affected by a 9/11. So now you have more sensitivity. But if the principle is the same, if these two people are making a joke on principle that's not malicious and this person happens to be hurt by it, technically on principle, that's okay. And that sounds bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it is bad, but like that's kind of how it is. And this probably happened to you. You'll watch like some meme or compilation, and then a 9/11 joke comes out of nowhere, and you're, oh, that was, I don't know what to feel because it's funny, but I cannot allowed to laugh. Like, why not? It's really interesting, isn't it?
That's a funny example because have you heard of Pete Davidson?
Nope.
He's a comedian and he's very funny. And his claim to fame is that his dad was a firefighter in 9/11 and he died during that. And he makes jokes about it all the time. And he's world famous now. He dated Ariana Grande. So that specific joke was funny. That specific example is interesting because there are examples of people who are the fourth person in our scenario we were talking about before, where it happened to him, so it does affect him, and he makes jokes about it anyway because he thinks because it is funny because he's a funny guy, and everybody in the world laughs at this guy for it, and maybe some people.
Well, he has his card.
He has the card for it and all that, and of course that justifies it in everybody's mind,
right?
But the fact that a whole bunch of people who it also affects and a whole bunch of people who it doesn't affect at all can laugh at it obviously means, well, nobody's pointing at the audience members there and say, you didn't know anyone in 9/11, you can't laugh about it. Even though some people probably think they should do that.
That's interesting.
But as an example, like you said, maybe that's where the line is, but people are crossing the line all the time. I don't know. It also helps if you're really funny too. Like as an example, like if you're really funny and you get the timing and everything, you could probably joke about something serious like rape or something. And as long as you're like not trying to hurt somebody, it could be like a super serious thing. And then if it's really funny, then people will laugh.
You know, the problem with it is somebody will always be hurt because you can't please everybody. Yeah. So then what do you do?
Well, it all kind of boils down to making yourself a strong individual, because it's about the individual being sovereign and all that. Like you could get to the point where you could say, I think we would get to the point where we would say it's not our responsibility. It's not our obligation to make you feel a certain way. It is your own responsibility to get yourself tough enough despite feeling a certain way, not impress or make anybody. I don't know. You know where I'm going with this, but it becomes about you yourself. You're responsible for what you do. You can't control what this offensive guy down the street who jokes about something that's like cancer. If your husband dies or something of cancer, and then this guy at work keeps making cancer jokes, I don't know. That's a bad example.
That's just weird to me. Where does that rule come from? It's just kind of accepted. The rule that it's the have and for. The four corners, have, for and against, have not, for and against, the have and fors. Somehow that's a card and you're allowed. Why? Because if the logic and principle is it's open game, that's the rules of the country for now.
You know what? I think there's something. Here's an observation. Maybe this is it. But it's like watching, because part of what you have to do if you are the have and are for, part of the process of getting to the point where you think it's funny is that you have to yourself become strong enough to do that. Because you could imagine maybe at first Pete Davidson couldn't possibly make jokes because his dad died as a firefighter in 9/11. And then at some point he said, I'm going to be tough enough, and I'm going to be recognized. This sucked when it happened, and it sucks, for all time. But there's something funny to be said about how interesting it is, and you can derive the joy from things anywhere. And so it's like part of the thing that's fascinating and fun to watch about or if an amputee is making jokes about they're not having legs or something. Part of the thing that's interesting and like fun about it is that you've watched this person butterfly out of this.
I think
I don't know.
anybody who tries to demean or demoralize somebody who makes light of something bad in their own personal life specifically, so someone who demonizes a have and for, I kind of had this. I think we all have it in some way. I was making jokes about depression, and someone had said something in a comment like, you can't joke about it. And I said, if I can't joke about my depression, then depression has won. I think the people who try to put down people making light of their own problems, finding any kind of light in a sucky situation, those people, they're the ones you should be worried about.
Mm-hmm. You almost can look up to those people because they've evolved, they've grown. They've made themselves stronger. And maybe it wasn't them actively going out and making their dad die in 9/11 to make themselves stronger, but life hit them and then they said, nope, I'm tougher than life. And that's cool. Even if they're, the recompense or whatever, the end result is that humor is what they get through it with. I don't know, but they're tough. They did it.
Maybe it has something to do with the fact that like a joke, like in a stand-up, whatever, however it's told, if it's told in a way that this is a real story, it's so much funnier than he's just making up this story for the punchline he's going to give. So much funnier.
It's really funny.
Maybe it's not. Maybe the card has something to do with it's funnier. It's funnier if he makes this joke because it's a real story now.
Yeah. Well, it's I guess
it's not funny because it didn't actually happen to you. So you don't have maybe that.
Well, every joke is funnier when it's a story.
It's a difference between being not funny and then it being offensive. There's a difference, and unfortunately, people choose to be offended.
Yeah, like I think neither of us are talking about the guy who goes up and, haha, your dad died of cancer and it was a traumatic experience for you. That sounded funny because I'm a funny guy and I said it funny, but like that's not a joke. You're just stating a fact that's like not funny. I don't know. There's obviously a line.
That's not offensive. That's just a not funny joke.
Haha, your dad died. Sucker. That's not funny. I don't know. I don't know.
It was an interesting conversation on the morality of jokes.
It was. I think we both are in the same place where it's like we are allowed to joke about whatever we want and we have our own line, and maybe the line is we can move the line day to day, but
if there's a difference between us in jokes, I think it's that you are probably more sensitive to people's feelings, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's your choice. So long as, it wasn't an issue of responsibility. It's just your choice to accommodate more people if you can, and that's fine.
Yeah. I'm insensitive to certain people's, for example. I'm not sensitive to your feelings.
Well, of course I'm sensitive to yours. If there was something that I knew that upset you, I wouldn't want to do it because I like you. But that's
Well, I've got a list of things I don't like about you. Let's see. How to offend Walter. I don't even know how to offend you.
Oh, I just stupid things. I'm so hard to offend. I say that, and then something stupid will happen that offends me, like someone quoting a movie wrong.
Well, then I offend you on the daily.
No, that's a bad example, but stupid, petty things will offend me. Yeah.
Someone quotes Batman wrong, like, it's not who I am underneath.
I'm cat person. No,
but what I be, that defines me. You're like, what? Cat person.
Stupid.
All right. And do we want to do any extra things? I'm pretty tired because of how.
Oh, it's almost 2 hours. So yeah,
I'm pretty tired after all the not sleeping I did.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, good talk, man. We ended up talking for a lot longer than I thought we were gonna manage tonight.
That's what happens when two dudes talk. I guess we'll talk tomorrow. We'll have more food. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big food.
Yeah.
And maybe
big food.
Yeah.
And maybe some Moscow mules.
Maybe that.
Fresh limes.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway. That'd be a good button. Yeah, maybe that.
That would be.
Close this out.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for.
Oh, play the piano for the closeout. We'll switch to your
Oh,
camera.
I got to do this. Hey, thank you for joining us at this.
Just that. Thank you for joining us at this.
Thank you for joining us at this. The listening show. And. Oh, that's not good. I can't do both talking and this at the same time. Goodbye. Thanks for millions of people watching and for all the money. Bye.